Sex in marriage. First of all, this video is of adult content, and I would discourage you to have children or minors as you watch this content. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, it says, "Therefore a man should leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." The very idea of one flesh, man joining, is referring to a physical connection that a man will have with his wife when they get married. Sex is a gift that is to be enjoyed within the context of marriage. Some people see sex as gross. Some people see sex as God, but Christianity presents the idea of sex as God's idea, and it's a gift that is to be enjoyed within the context of marriage. When people are single and they're not married, the devil does everything he can so he can push them into sex. And the moment they get married, he does everything he can make sure that they don't enjoy a sexual relationship with their spouse. Now, let's look at the 5 purposes of sex. First one is procreation. In Genesis 1:28, God made it very clear. He blessed Adam and Eve, and he says, "Be fruitful and multiply." He wasn't referring to their career. He wasn't referring to their jobs. He wasn't referring to their finances. He was talking about them making babies. And we know there's only one way you can make babies is through sex. The second purpose of sex is for pleasure. We see this in Proverbs chapter 5, verse 18 and 19, where God says, "Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a loving deer and graceful doe, let her breasts satisfy you at all times and always be enraptured with her love." And so, this speaks of pleasure. This is not about making babies. This is not about fulfilling some duties. This is actually a couple enjoying each other's company, enjoying each other, and just having a good time by having sex. Third reason for sex, or third purpose for sex, is for protection. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2, it says, "Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband." And so something happens when you have a healthy relationship with your spouse, and you also have a healthy sexual life with your spouse. It protects you from sexual immorality. I'm not saying that it will take away the temptation. The Bible doesn't teach us that if you have a great, marriage, that you will no longer have demons, flesh, and the world and the devil to deal with. But it does make it easier to overcome temptation when you have a good relationship and you have a satisfying sex life. Number 4 is intimacy or closeness. And we see that in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. "Now Adam knew his wife," and then it says, "and she conceived." So it didn't say that Adam, had an intercourse. It doesn't say that Adam went and lay with his wife. It says knew his wife. And then actually this verse is used for us knowing the Lord. So meaning this was more than just a physical act. This was an emotional connection. This was intimacy. And I think T.D. Jakes said, he says, intimacy is into me, see. So it's when you are seeing into the other person. It's when you are getting to know the other person. It's more than an act as much as it's a connection, closeness with the person. Purpose number 5 for sex in the Bible is for comfort. We see the 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 24. It says, "Then David comforted Bathsheba, his wife." They just lost a kid, and it was a very difficult time for them, and David comforted her, and then he went into her and lay with her. So this, of course, speaks of a physical relationship that David enjoyed now with his wife Bathsheba. And it uses this word comfort, that there was a comfort that was released that through that physical relationship and contact that they had. Now let's look at something that is more on the practical side of having, sexual relationship in marriage. Number 1 is the sex is like a superglue in marriage. The Bible says that 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 16, that "do you not know that he who is joined to a harlot is one body with her?" So when you have a sex with your spouse, you're developing a very deep bond with them. It's like a superglue. That's why you should not have sex with anybody but your spouse, because you're developing soul ties. Not only it opens door to demons, not only sin, but it also develops very deep connection with that person. And then it takes years to get healed from that. If you divorce or if you break up after you committed sexual sin, it has a lot deadlier consequences than you realize. Just because you're going to come and say, "I'm sorry, Lord, and forgive me." Yeah, God can forgive you, but the healing process is very painful and very long. But in marriage, sex is like superglue. It cements you together, brings you closer, and you should do it more often. The second thing that I want to mention practically is sex is about serving and not selfishness. I have another video where I will deal with the spouse rape and like what's allowed and what's not allowed in the marriage bed. But the verse that I want to present to you is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verses 3 and 4. It says, "Let the husband render to his wife the affection due to her, and likewise also the wife to her husband." And I want you to notice that Paul pretty much starts out and saying, hey, this is not about you. This is about the other person. And that's why I really encourage couples, you don't need to have sex before you get married to see if you're really good in bed. Are you good at serving each other? Are you good at attending to each other's needs? Yeah, then in bed, it's going to be the same thing. Because sex is not about you. Sex is about the other person. Sex is about serving. Sex is not about selfishness. Number 3, you have to understand the differences between your sexuality as a man and a woman. In Proverbs chapter 5 verses 15 all the way till 18, it speaks of a man as a fountain. And we see that a woman is presented as like a well. And if you look at the biology of a man and a woman, if you look at the sexuality, if you study the sexuality, you will see one thing. The man is like a fountain. He's always ready. And the woman is like a well. You have to draw the water. One counselor said, a doctor, Kevin Lehman, he says sex doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins in the kitchen, in the living room, and in other places. Meaning, like how you treat your spouse, husbands, is going to play a big role into whether you're going to have sex or not. And so a woman is a well. If you want water, you got to draw it out. A man is a fountain. He's ready with a snap of fingers. He's ready. He's on all the time. All you got to do is just turn the faucet and the water comes out. Husbands, chill, okay? Your wife does not have a demon just because she's not always ready or doesn't want to have sex with you all the time. And it's not because she doesn't like you. It's just she's a well and you got to draw water out of the well. So behave yourself and be careful how you treat her and how you talk to her, how you are you all lovey-dovey because you want sex or because you want her, because you love her throughout the day? Do you surprise her with pleasant surprises? Are you generous with her? Are you generous with your words? Are you thinking about her? Does she know you're thinking about her? Do you miss her? Not only because you want this physical connection and because you have these urges or needs, but because you genuinely care and you value her as a person. All of these go a long way. And wives, your husband is not a pervert just because he wants sex all the time. It's not because he has a spirit of demon or spirit of Jezebel or Lilith or succubus or incubus. Okay, most men are wired like that, where they are more sexual than maybe they should, or maybe the way the women are. And it provides a sense of release for a lot of times for a man, and it provides a sense of connection to their spouse. And it's really like not really a need, because our need is really oxygen and water, and that's our need. So we can't say that that's our need because that would make it like, oh, I can't live without sex. Yes, you can live without sex. Many people have lived without sex, and Jesus lived without sex, and you will be fine if you don't have sex. But for wives, you do have to understand that there is a greater need for this than women have, and that is to have that sexual relationship with their spouse. Number 4, on the practical level, is we have to pursue purity. We have to still maintain holiness and purity even when we are married. A lot of times when we are single, we value purity, but in reality we have to value virginity, and then we give the gift of virginity to our spouse. But the moment you get married, you lose the gift of virginity, but you should never lose the gift of purity and the pursuit of purity and the connection and the commitment that you make to purity. So flirting, lust, emotional attachments, DMing, opposite sex, watching porn are the little foxes that will spoil the vine, as it says in Song of Solomon. They will ruin your sexual experiences with your spouse if you constantly are filling yourself with sexual immorality. It's like you're eating McDonald's and then your wife has prepared you a really beautiful dinner. You're going to come home, you're not going to be hungry anymore because you've eaten the junk food. And so, of course, sexual immorality is not junk food. Sexual immorality is worse than junk food. It's a disobedience to God. But you get my point, is that it will damage your sexual relationship with your spouse. And number 5 is deal with the abuse. If you have been abused, it can affect your ability to receive and give love. Be open about it and seek professional help. If you've been abused, it can really damage your ability to enjoy sexual relationship, especially if your abuse has been sexual. It can really paralyze you in that field. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's because you need to deal with those hurts and you need to deal with those challenges. And if you are the spouse on the receiving end of a person that you're married to who has had abuse, and maybe, you know, you're like, oh, this is not going to be a big deal when you get married, and now you're married and you realize it is a big deal, please be patient. Please exhibit and portray the fruit of the Holy Spirit and walk along with your spouse. Don't force things on your spouse. Give them time and learn your patience, long-suffering with your spouse so that God can do the healing with your spouse. Encourage them, and if possible, even go with them to seek professional help and professional healing and inner healing for the wounds that they have incurred. And last one, number 6, is demons. Demons can affect your sex drive and they can affect your sex life. There are demons, incubus, succubus, that can actually have a sex with the person in a dream. And this is not just one bad nightmare. A person can wake up and see that, you know, they are not feeling good. They can even be resemblances, certain fluids that got released from their body. Some people even have marks on their body from these sort of dreams. And when they are repeated, they have the potential to destroy your marriage. And therefore, you need to seek deliverance. Therefore, you need to seek help, both of you, even if one of you is only being attacked, because these are demons that are not just after your sex, they are after your marriage. And they want to come through the area of sleep, through the area of sex, so that they can take advantage of you and then harass you and torment you. I have a whole different video about incubus and succubus and spirit spouses I want you to watch, and then you can learn more about it and how to break those things and how to find the open doors for those demons so you can walk in freedom in this area. It is God's will for sex to be enjoyable. It is God's will that in it we bring Him the most glory and that we get to know our spouse, and as a result, we also populate this earth with a lot of babies for God. God bless you. Thank you for watching this video. And check out my other video which deals with what's okay and what's not okay in the marriage bed.